Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Onepeg. In this video, I wanted to talk to you guys about why I believe the questing system is absolutely worth it. And I think if you guys stick with me on this, you will see exactly what I mean. So farming gold in this game right now is really easy if you know how to do it, especially if you're a cleric, especially if you end up taking the time to run like these spells. You give yourself Sanctuary, you run Lesser Heal, you're at 14 knowledge, you don't need any other gear. This is a base kit loadout. You can take your spell capacity, take Holy Purification, grab yourself Blunt Weapon Mastery, Protection from Evil. If you want to, if you're going to go to Crypts, then maybe you take Protection from Evil off and you put on Undead Slaying, and then you go into the dungeon on the Threes map in High Roller, and then you just live in the storm, Holy Purifying the crap out of everything and collecting all the treasures that lie in all the random chests. And then you just leave through one of the static exits and you make an absurd amount of gold. I have funded like the entire enterprise through all of my quests and everything just through farming stuff and getting god roll crossbows like this off of a quest hand in from the Weaponsmith. Now I'm going to highlight the Weaponsmith because I just want this to be shown as like an example of why it is worth going through and doing the quests, even though it is expensive to get done. Now I realize that the quest system right now is not perfect. You can't like multi-quest stuff. You can't hand in items piecemeal, and they need to fix that because stash space being what it is. But if we go and we look at the Weaponsmith, the quests that he has first are one where you have to hand in 15 rare weapons. Quick tip, the throwing knives and throwing axes in the game count as rare weapons. So if you collect those off of like skull bats, for instance, handing those in would be very, very beneficial to you. Hold on to those and then hand them in when the quest asks for it. Also, if you're trying to hand this in, what will happen is the game will highlight all the stuff that's in your inventory with like this little gold outline that you see right here on this flanged mace. It will highlight all of that in gold, like this little gold outline. You can go through and click off ones that you don't want handed in and click on other ones when you hit like the add all button on the bottom so that you're not stuck just having to hand in whatever. The second quest is 20 gold ingots. Ingots right now are worth about 500-ish gold a piece. So this is 10 to 12,000 gold, depending on your purchase price, worth of gold ingots to be able to hand in to the Weaponsmith. However, it is still worth it, and I will show you why. The final quest is to get 50 player kills. Now, that legendary crossbow that I just showed you right here, if I had showed it to you, maybe I didn't. This legendary crossbow is probably worth about 2 keys right now. That is a 12 to 15,000 gold crossbow all day long, just based on the stats alone. It is a max damage crossbow with +3 weapon damage, +5 physical power, and 3.5% physical damage bonus. It is almost a max roll possibility for this crossbow. It's only off by a couple of like minor stats. That came from this reward. I have not yet had a reward that has paid where at least one of the items that came from the reward wasn't worth selling for like a good amount of cash. It is worth doing. The 50 player kills, just go to normal Goblin Cave and then run around and hit people. Eventually you will get there. It's not that hard to do. It's just a matter of repetition. Most of these quests are things that take time, not necessarily things that take skill, but that's not really the point. The point is on the trade and service side. When you get max rep on these guys, when they get to the loved status, there is at least one epic item somewhere in this mishmash of items that they offer up for sale, like this short sword right here with 2 weapon damage, and the memory capacity bonus and the max health bonus is whatever, but you have a 29 damage plus 2 weapon damage short sword for 140 gold. You could flip that very, very easily in rogue chat because a short sword is one of the most desirable weapons for a rogue right now. It's short sword and rapier all day. Most rogues that I talk to, if they're very proficient, they actually prefer the short sword because the swing is faster, and the second hit is a stab, which is very, very hard to parry or block if you're trying to catch somebody below or above a shield. And then we have the service side. The service side is actually where this whole thing sings. It's kind of amazing. On the service side, as you level up in rep, for every 50 points of rep, when they get to like neutral and then friendly and then loved, you can start making undead damaging weapons. But the undead damaging weapons still roll as if they were just any other blue weapon that you would normally end up looting. And they roll with very, very good stats sometimes. The Sterling Rod, for instance, has 15% undead damage bonus. The rolls on here aren't that great, but this is craftable with a silver powder, which is 75 silver coins to make one that you can get from the alchemist at level 1, nothing crazy, and a green flanged mace. Doesn't cost you almost a damn thing. Secondarily to that, you have the Rod of Righteousness. That is a silver ingot, which is 120 silver coins, and a blue flanged mace. You're seeing where I'm going with this. This is cheap as heck to be able to get an epic weapon that has a halfway decent roll for at least a minimum for damage, and the 15% undead damage starts to sing. It's nice. From here, that goes to the Divine Rod, which in this case is 2 max health. I have had personally seen Divine Rods that have rolled with 2 weapon damage on them and physical damage bonus. They are really, really nice. And there are fighters that seek these out because of the armor pen rather than using falchions or swords. They will use Divine Rods specifically for the armor pen alone, just because it hits that much harder if you're hitting people in the head, regardless of what they have on. So this is a very, very good craft for 2 silver ingots and the epic flanged. If you're rat running, just as a matter of example, if you're rat running on crypts and living in the storm, like I just mentioned earlier, this is the way to be able to farm up just absurd amounts of gear and absurd amounts of money. Because some of these rolls that I have seen are like a key, 2 keys, 5K, 10K. A lot of people, even now, still don't have most of these crafts unlocked. However, most of the player base has become pretty proficient at farming gold. Gold comes an awful lot faster than quest completion does, which means that with a bolus of gold and gold spending ability, people are looking to just bypass doing this garbage altogether and use the money that they have farmed to be able to buy good stuff so that they can go and run it in the dungeon, which is why when it comes to unlocking this stuff, if you're somebody that tries to go for the achievement of it, it is worth it. You will absolutely make the money back when you have the ability to craft this stuff and just offer it up for trade. People will buy it from you and they will spend a lot getting there. It is absolutely worth it. I don't know how else to put this to you guys. I think if you're sleeping on this, you should stop sleeping on it, especially on the Weaponsmith side of things, because these quests are very, very easily completed by just chipping away at it, either by farming money or by getting PvP kills, depending on whatever state you're in for the game. The same thing can be said for the armorsmith as well when it comes to the ingots that they've got. Farm the gold, buy the ingots, just get the thing cleared up, and then you have the ability to make like ruby silver armor items before you even get to the section where you've got to kill the lich 15 times. So these are absolutely worth it. When you start unlocking like the final quest for like leathersmith and armorsmith, the world's your oyster, man. Like you start to make just absurd amounts of money between selling the capes, using dust on the cloth crafts or the leather crafts, and using ingots on the armor crafts. The gold armor rolling legendary quality is just like amazing stuff. People are paying through the absolute nose to get high quality plate, the gold legendary plate. The armor value and the amount of stats that you get distributed on that stuff is just so crazy nice. It's very, very worth it. And it is insanely inexpensive to craft. You end up making like 2-3x on the monetary investment, even if you bought all of the materials to make it in the first place. It's really good. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for coming and checking out this video. Just as a reminder, I'm going to be flying out to Texas to go shoot some guns with like Brandon Herrera and Donut Operator and stuff. I'm going to be leaving tomorrow morning, very, very early in the morning, and I will be back Saturday evening, I don't know, somewhere around dinner time. So you might see me Saturday night, but I doubt it. Most likely you'll see me on Sunday, where we'll, restart the streams and whatever. But I wanted to get this video out to you guys because I feel like the player base should be taking advantage of this as much as they possibly can. Implement some strategies to be able to knock this out, and then hopefully you guys will be able to kind of join us on the other end where you're also selling this stuff for profit. And I think there will always be a demand for this because it has to be like, individual characters unlocking this. You won't be able to just rotate through like sub characters. You have to actually like unlock this stuff like as you're going along. So an account with full unlocks is going to be worth like going through and doing the crafts and selling them for buku dollars. Anyway, thanks so much. Please consider subbing the channel here. I would really, really appreciate it. The stuff on the live streams has been absolutely amazing. You guys are great. Thank you so much for lending me your eyeballs, and I will see you in the next one, okay? Peace.